Just because you and somebody break up, that doesn't mean that the relationship is over if you're still communicating with them. 4 years, no sex. Yes, girl.
Try not to show how I feel about you. You wish you were, but we don't really want to. I just wanna get away and sit right next to you. I don't wanna kiss you. Yeah, I just wanna feel you.
Hey girl, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here and you've never been to my channel before, make sure you subscribe right now. Like, I'm not waiting. Why are you watching if you're not subscribing? I need you to come right back when I drop a new video, so go ahead and subscribe. And welcome back to all of my loyal subscribers. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in and watching my channel. Today we're going to be talking about getting over a breakup. Yes, girl, that nigga that was no good, getting over him, dropping him, honey. So I'm basically going to be telling you a little bit about my past relationships, things that I've gone through, and how I moved on from them, because I'm over that. Like, you know what I'm saying? How I moved on from them, because you too young to be settling for them no good niggas. Like, period. So let's talk about my first relationship, what I went through, and little things that helped me get over it, because for each person that I was with, I used different things to help me get over them. Number one. So my first relationship, I was with a guy. I actually met him maybe a couple days after my 18th birthday. I thought he was like the best thing ever since sliced bread, because he was so fine to me, and I was like, oh, you know, this is like gonna be my dream come true, because the boys at high school wasn't cutting it. Y'all said high school, that means that I was in high school and the dude that I was talking to, who eventually became my boyfriend, was in college. So I felt even like more of that girl, because I was like, first of all, y'all peasants are talking to boys in high school, my man is in college, so catch up. Me and the guy, we hit it off. At the time, I actually lived in Arizona and he lived in my hometown, Milwaukee, so I was catching flights back and forth to see your boy. Now, about this relationship. This relationship was 4 years in duration total. And when I say duration, because I need you to understand that just because you and somebody break up, that doesn't mean that the relationship is over if you're still communicating with them. You know how, like, you know, that boy hit your line and you like, look who texted me, girl. Yes, that means he's still in your life and y'all still talking. Whether y'all think y'all talking or not, y'all still talking, because I mean, in a literal sense, y'all are. So that term didn't come from nowhere. Y'all still texting, y'all still talking on the phone, like whatever it is that y'all doing, like y'all still communicating. So yeah, we were talking for 4 years, and definitely on and off. During that time, some of the toxic traits in that relationship was he would break up with me randomly. Like, when I say randomly, I mean like randomly. I was like, oh my God, like, what is going on? Like, is it me, or like, why is he constantly like breaking up with me every 2 seconds? And like, he would make me feel like things were my fault. He would pick arguments. He's very controlling. He didn't like want me to go out anywhere, or he didn't want me to go do things. And so I really was like sheltering myself. So during this time, like from the time that I was a senior in high school all the way up to like my freshman year in college, I was like supposed to be doing everything that a college student should be doing, meeting new people, going out to the clubs, like finally having that freedom, because I'm like, I'm 18. You know, like I want to see like what life has to offer me, because I'm 18 and I'm grown now, right? I'm grown. But for him, he didn't want that. So like we was literally Skyping it up all day, all night. Like our Skype videos would be hours long. So I know that for me, the main thing with him was he didn't post me on his gram, and he would post him and other girls on his gram, and me, in my mind, I wasn't thinking much into it. And then like he started going into fitness, and so I was thinking maybe like because he was going into fitness, he had the excuse of, you know, that doesn't go along with the theme of my page. And I'm like, okay, you know, yeah, I guess it doesn't. Don't be naive. I was very naive. So to get around to that, my 21st birthday, he actually came and bought a ticket to come see me in Florida, and he was hanging out with me, and I thought we was having a good time, but he was kind of going through a rough patch in his life, and he was going through a lot of things. So after that, he actually broke up with me. I didn't understand why he just was not feeling me no more, like why he was just like not into us. I thought he was just falling out of love with me, and there was nothing I could really do. And during that relationship, something that was really unique and special about that relationship was during that whole time we had not had sex. So I mean 4
years no sex. Yes,
bro, 4 years no sex. Maybe that was, you know, a part of the problem. Fast forward, once we had broken up, I was like, oh my God, like, not only was this new for me, but during this time and at this point, I had packed all of my bags at one point in a U-Haul, ready to move. I had been trying to encourage him to come down to Florida, and he wasn't gonna come. He refused. All we argue about it was like me moving there or him moving to Florida. And eventually he was like, no. And I'm like, well, if I want to still be with him, I guess I have to go. So I literally packed all my stuff up and I put it in a U-Haul, and I had like maybe 3 more months of getting my associate's degree, and I was gonna go after that. I even went to Milwaukee, looked for an apartment, found one, put a down payment on it, and reserved it, and signed a lease. So needless to say, I was legit serious. And then that nigga broke up with me. I mean, when I tell y'all it was a groundbreaking. Can you imagine packing all your stuff up, getting ready to move to a whole new state for a nigga you with, and he break up with you? Because you were being insecure. That's what his answer was. You were being insecure. But I had a legitimate reason to be insecure, because on his story, on his page, he had posted a picture of him and a girl, and he was like holding a girl up in his arms. That was disrespectful to me. I don't think I was being insecure. I think I was being a concerned girlfriend. Like, why are you holding a girl like that on your page? And you have a girlfriend. So, anyways, fast forward, after I broken up with him, he and I were still communicating. Okay, and so we were still texting back and forth, and like at the time, like I had started talking to another guy, and he was starting to talk to another girl. I think for some reason we couldn't move on completely from each other. So then he was telling me that he wasn't talking to this girl anymore, and that the girl was just like a friend. So I came to Milwaukee for Christmas that December. So this is like going on almost a year that we had broken up. And I'm in the car with him, and I'm like hanging out with him. We go to the mall, and the girl's at the mall. I was like, why is she tripping? Like, they supposed to just be friends. When in reality, I guess they really had something going on still. And like, I saw her text his phone, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why is he still talking to this girl? I thought they was done, and I thought we was like working on us. And I got in a car accident, and my mom had told me that he had gotten in a car accident. So I just called him one day, and I was like, hey, I heard you got in a car accident. You know, I was just checking on you to make sure you were okay. And he said, why you calling me? Like, I'm good. And I was like taken back, because I'm like, damn, like, why he so mean to me? Like, I'm just trying to check on him to see and make sure he good. Like, because I know I had just got in a car accident. And I said, you know what? All right, I'm going to talk to you later. And, you know, just to pause and put things into perspective for y'all, this person that I was with, he and I were very honest with each other, and he had told me that he had done a lot of things during moments that we weren't together because of him breaking up with me. Things with other girls, and things that, you know, I felt like were legitimate cheating, because he and I were still communicating, and he was talking to other people. But I felt like he was only breaking up with me to cheat or to do things with other women. My sister would always tell me, like, one day, Venus, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be like, I'm done. Like, because I couldn't figure out why I just could not move on. I kid you not, it was a Sunday morning. I woke up, I was headed to church, and I said, wow, like, today's the day. Like, when I get out of church, I'm gonna sit in church, I'm gonna pray on it. When I get out, I'm gonna text him or call him and tell him, like, I'm done. That was gonna be what I was gonna do. I had made my mind up. After church, I went over my head like what I was gonna say, what I was gonna do, and I was ready. So I called him and he answered the phone. And I said, hey, I just wanted to call you and let you know that I'm done and that I have nothing else to say to you, and I wish you the best. And he laughed at me, and it kind of really pissed me off because it took a lot for me to call him and say that, but only because I felt like, why are you laughing? Like, it took you by surprise. Like, you've been doing me dirty like for the past 4 years, you know? And he was like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, I'm serious. And he laughed, and I'm like, why? Like, you know, like I'm trying to figure out why he laughing. And he's like, all right. He's like, and I told him, I said, well, let me finish. And you know, I explained to him why I was done, and he was like, so you're not gonna let me talk? And I was like, no, because I'm explaining to you what's going on, and I'm about to hang up the phone because I don't want anything. I didn't want anything that was gonna hold me there. Like, I don't want him to say something or give me some false promise that would keep me around, because I was ready to move on. So he like got so upset, and he's like, we're not even gonna let me talk, you're not even gonna let me explain or say anything. And I'm like, no, like, because to me, you have that chance to do that. So I hung up the phone, and I got so many text messages from him. I mean, days later, weeks later. And I said, okay, it's time to block him, because the things that he was saying to me was like he still didn't realize that he had done me wrong time and time again, and was so mean to me. So I was waiting on that moment where he realized, like, wow, I did her so wrong. Like, why did I do her like that? And it didn't happen. Time went on, and I blocked him, and I moved on with my life. Like, I really did. And I was like, it was so hard, and I cried. And the thing that got me through that, to be honest, was talking to other guys. I wasn't having sex with anybody because, like I told you all, like, I was still a virgin, and I didn't even have sex with a guy that I was with for 4 years. So I definitely wasn't having sex with no guy that I just met. An update on that situation. A year ago, my mother and him were still communicating after I had broken up with my second boyfriend. My mom told him, like, you know, Venus has a lot of questions that she wants to ask you, a lot of things she wants to say to you. Maybe y'all should talk. So I unblocked him, his number, for the first time in 7 years at that time. And I was so blown away by the fact that I did that. It was so big for me to do that. I actually started crying because I was like, I had not done that. You know, it took so much for me to walk away from that. Now I'm unboxing this mess. How's this gonna go? Like, what is he gonna say to me? And I actually talked to him, and we literally hashed out all of the things that I had to say to him that I never got clarity on. Like, did you ever cheat on me in the relationship? And he said no, officially. But to me, I knew that he did those things when he broke up with me, which he probably broke up with me at least once a month during the 4 years. So that's a lot, y'all. Like, a lot. So he also clarified a lot about his feelings, how wrong he was in the way that he treated me. And I had no choice but to respect that, because he had finally come to his senses. And it felt good to hear someone say that they're sorry and that they know that they were wrong, because a lot of men don't do that. But it had just shown me, wow, in 7 years you really worked on yourself. And at some point we were even talking about, like, you know, hinting at each other like maybe we should try this again. But too much damage had been done. I think we both felt that, and we didn't need to say it. And we were just grateful for the opportunity to communicate to each other our feelings, so we can have healthy relationships going forward, you know. And he actually reached out to my mom, like, recently, to say how happy he was that I'm, you know, with the person that I'm with now. And it just feels good to have that healthy separation and say, you know what, you taught me some valuable lessons during my teenage years, and I'm grateful for it. I taught you some valuable lessons, and you're grateful for it, and we can both be adults and move on in a mature way. So with that, he and I went our separate ways, and I haven't spoken to him since a year ago, since we had that conversation. And I'm really proud of that, because I never thought it would happen, and it took so much for me to get past that relationship. So step number one, if you are truly serious about moving on from someone, You need to block them from everything. Social media, your phone. Tell your friends and your family, please stop talking to this person. Please unfollow this person. Please block this person's number, because they're gonna find ways to communicate with you if they need to. Now, he didn't, but he was also prideful. So it worked out that way, where he wasn't trying to get to me and I wasn't trying to get to him. I think we both knew that we needed to move on. So that's that relationship. So that's the best advice I can give with that relationship, is to make sure when it's hard for you to move on from someone, block them. That's the first thing. Guy number 2. So this guy was not my type. When I say type, I mean like physically my type. I had always been really attracted to like pretty boys, or like, you know, really well kept and like clean cut type of guys. And he was completely opposite. So during the time that he and I were dating, I was a little skeptical, because mind you, I just gotten out of a relationship, and I was like, well, is this gonna go well? Like, should I really jump back into it? But I was like, I needed to move on, and in order for me to move on, like, I really needed to like do that for real. So I moved on and I started giving this guy a chance, and we started dating. The beginning, yo, he was like the most romantic and sweet person, because my last relationship never did that stuff for me. He never bought me Christmas presents. He never really bought me birthday presents. Like, he never did anything for me like that, you know? And the guy that I started dating next, he was like surprising me with all these extravagant gifts. He was surprising me with trips. Like, it was like, wow, like, this is what I've been missing. And it seemed perfect and it seemed right. During that relationship, I found out that he had cheated on me 6 months in with a girl that I was friends with. I went through his phone and I saw that he had actually ran a train on a girl in Miami. What hurt me the most wasn't that it happened, but was his response during that. The way he was speaking about it was like no remorse. Like, he had texted his brother and was like, yo bro, I just ran a train on this girl. Versus like, I couldn't believe I did this. Like, I feel like I messed up. Like, I did this to Venus, you know. There was no remorse. There was like this cockiness, this arrogance. Like, yeah, I did this. And they laughing about it. There's no respect there. And I was hurt. So I went in the room and I snatched the covers off. And I said, cheated on me. He's like, huh? And you know when niggas say that, huh, you know they lying. So he was like, huh? And we argue, and I was just like, why? And like, I was so pissed, y'all, because here's why it hurt so bad. I had lost my virginity to him, and we were only together for 4 months at that time. Now, y'all remember, the guy I was with for 4 years didn't even get none. So obviously I felt like this guy was important enough to give my virginity to him. And 6 months later, he cheats on me. I was hurt, like heartbroken for real. So I thought that would be the last time. But literally like months later, he went to Miami again. And later on, I found out that he had cheated on me. And I was so taken back by how, again, could I end up in a relationship where someone is doing this to me. Like, I'm not even that type of person. I don't flirt with dudes. I don't text dudes. I don't do stuff like that. So I didn't understand why this kept happening to me. But it did. And he had even bought me a promise ring and promised that he wouldn't cheat on me again. And nobody knew. And when I say nobody knew, I mean like my mother didn't know, my sister didn't know. Nobody knew. Even my friends didn't know. So then, like, to fast forward, a lot of things that I found out that he did was from other people, like strangers or people that knew of me. I can't tell you how many DMs and messages I got from people saying, I seen this person who's supposed to be your boyfriend flirting with this girl, dancing with this girl. He even cheated on me with the dog sitter. Yeah. There was a girl that used to watch my dog when we would go on vacation. And I dropped my dog off over there to her. Like, I met her, and I knew he knew a lot of people because of his profession. So I didn't think anything of it. I smiled at her, said hey to her, like knew where she lived, and found out later that he cheated on me with her. So it was a bunch of insecurities. Like, I had even went so far to do something that I couldn't believe. Y'all gonna need to write this down, okay? Write this down. This is how I found out for sure that he was cheating, and how I found out when he was deleting things and I wasn't noticing. So I took an iPad that I got from my sister. I knew all his passwords because he had it in a note in his phone. I took the iPad, plugged in his iCloud account, and I put it on the iPad, and I sent myself a text message to him, and it came through on his phone. And then I sent a response, and it came through on the iPad, and then I deleted it. Also, if you do this, make sure you go to the email that's linked to the iCloud, and make sure that you delete the email that says it's linked to a device. After that, I knew that I was receiving messages. So I turned off the notifications on the iPad, and I went and put it in a shoebox. During this time, I could tell when he deleted things because I would go on his phone and they'd be gone, but I'd go on the iPad and they're still there. So I caught him up in a lot of lies that way, because he would delete things and he would think that I wouldn't see it because he thought that I would check his phone, which I did. However, I didn't need to anymore because I had the iPad. He would go on vacation, like he would come to Atlanta, and soon, like maybe 20 minutes outside the city, texting girls like back to back to back to back, new girls, like, well, I'm coming to your city, and I'm like, what? Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, my heart was racing. I was like, what? Like, I finally caught this dude. But listen, y'all, that was the best thing ever, because I finally knew, okay, it's more than what I see, it's more than what I know, it's more than what people are telling me, and it's right here. But disclaimer, it is very addicting. Very addicting. You need to make sure that you know your limits. If it's just to catch somebody in a lie, do it and call it a day, and don't mention it to him. Me, I mentioned it to him, and I knew he was lying, so I had to show him how I knew he was lying. But he was like, oh my God, like, you invaded my privacy. But for me, it's like, that's all you gotta say? Like, I didn't invade your privacy. Like, you've been lying to me. Let's talk about the real issue, you know? So time went on. We still continued to talk, still continued to date, but I had the worst amount of trust issues, y'all, the worst. So the last thing that kind of like put us over the edge was when I actually was tired. I was just tired of being cheated on, and tired of being, like, you know, treated wrong. And while I was online for my sorority, someone had hit me up and basically told me that he was talking to another girl, and I was like, you know what, not during this time. Like, this is a time where I'm supposed to have like a backbone, you know, like this is a time where you're supposed to really be here for me. Like, I'm in school and I'm pledging. Like, how you gonna do that right now? So I said, I'm done. Cut him off, broke up with him, and so I'm done. So I ended up doing something with someone else, and he couldn't handle it, like, at all. And I think that's when things really spun out of control. Like, it had gotten really bad, really toxic, really unhealthy, and I mean in a scary way. So he ended up moving out. Time went on, and he and I were still involved. And after I graduated, I actually left and moved to Augusta with my mom. While I was there, I think that's when things really started to make sense to me, because my mom is a psychologist and she's always been very good with explaining herself and why she thinks that I should move on past something, or how I should deal with a situation or deal with people. Like, I'm spoiled, to be honest, because she kept me sane. I would come in after work and would just lay in her bed. I would just talk to her for hours. So I found myself still expecting to treat him like he was my boyfriend when he wasn't. I would expect him to do things that it just was not within his character to do. I asked him to take a personality test. We both took it, and I can put that in the description box below, and I want you to click on this. If you are considering if you and someone are compatible, take that test below. See if you're wasting your time, because you literally can spend so much time investing in someone and know them so well that you know it's not gonna work. You can't change someone. You can't make someone become someone that you want them to be. And that's why I really like that test, because it literally made it clear as day, okay, you have a choice. You could change this, but you don't want to change this. And that's what that revealed to me. And I would practically beg for good morning texts, wonder why he didn't call me when he would wake up in the morning, like just go posting on Instagram, why he's still liking girls' pictures. Because of all of the infidelity, I felt like he needed to prove himself to me, because he did want to still be with me. So I'm reflecting on the things that I went through with the first guy, and I'm like, when will I get to the point where I move on and I'm over this person and I can like get past them? Because for some reason I just can't seem to get over him. And I also felt like because I lost my virginity to him, there was going to be no getting over him. However, time went on, and my mother being there, and because he was still in New York, it literally helped me have that space from him to think clearly. And a lot of the things that I felt was disrespectful while you were talking to someone was things that he was doing, like liking other females' pictures, still conversing with other females, things like that. And I felt like if I had done that, like it would have been no questions, he would have cut me off. And that was like, I guess, some manipulation there, because it was like, oh, if you do it, no, not even okay. But if he did it, it was like I was supposed to be understanding that we weren't in a relationship. What happened was I had given my all at this point. I was like, you know, I'm gonna give him one more chance. Hey, I want you to move to Atlanta with me. Like, come move to Atlanta. Your mom lives there. Like, it'll be a great time. We can go from there. He was like, no, I'm not moving backwards. Basically, I felt like that was the best thing. He didn't want to do that. He said no. He didn't want to do it. I said, okay. So I had gotten a job here in Atlanta. I was moving. That was what I wanted to do. That was what I wanted to do. So I was going to do it regardless, with or without him. And at that point I said, okay, forget it. I had even gotten him a job here, and he was like, no, he wasn't going to be making the amount of money that they offered him. Fine. So once I moved to Atlanta, I was still dealing with him. I had still like hung out with other guys and still went on dates and everything. I think I had a little bit more of encouragement to get out there and date people. I'm in a new city. And I started talking to other people, and like once I was here, he had actually flown in to see me, and we had gotten a really bad argument, and I think that argument pretty much closed the door. We still communicated some, but eventually I decided I was looking for more. And as long as I still communicated with him, there was going to be a barrier. I wanted my husband. And I knew that as long as I had someone still in my life, even if it was in the way that he was, which was from a very long distance, that it was still going to inhibit my blessing. I didn't want nothing blocking my blessing. So I decided to tell him, like, hey, I'm about to stop talking to you. Your number's going to be blocked. I just wanted to let you know that up front. Like, there's no hard feelings. Like, I just wanted to let you know. So I blocked him, because he didn't seem to understand that. Like, he kept texting me like, oh yeah, I forgot you weren't talking to me. Like, just trying to respect that. Like, I wanted it to end on good terms, and it didn't, because he kept continuously like trying to contact me. So ultimately I moved on. I started really focusing on myself, And by that point, mind you, this was a year of like moving on. Like I had moved on. And it was more so just doing the physical task of blocking him like I did with the first guy that I was in a relationship with. And once that happened, I just opened up the door for healthy relationships and to really see what God had for me, because I wasn't being clouded by distractions, because I wasn't getting attention from this person, wasn't getting attention from that person. When I blocked him, I blocked everybody. I cut everybody off. There are guys to this day that probably still don't know why they got cut off, and it was because I needed to manifest my husband. I needed to focus on me and get past all of those things that were lingering. Like lingering men, like, oh my God, no, you don't want no lingering men. Get over that man and focus on you. And so I was reading books, I was watching videos, I was watching testimonials of sermons and all these different types of things. I was praying, I was going to church, like I was doing all these things to really focus on me and God, like me and God. And that's when I met my current boyfriend. And it's crazy because I didn't think I could meet someone that was perfect for me. I mean, every single thing that I had on my box, he just checked it with flying colors. And I was impressed by that. So to get over a breakup is like, you need to put in that work. Cut everybody off. If you don't see yourself being with this person long term, you need to cut them off. Make sure that you don't respond. If they try and hit you up from another number, don't respond, because you're literally trying to focus on you. Those people that have been lingering, that don't commit, get rid of them. By now they should know if they want to commit to you. Stop having sex with people. Literally reset yourself. So, but I'm talking about the ones who, like, y'all go out to eat and y'all flirt and it could be something, but you just, you know, y'all don't know. Cut it off. Get over that ex. Get over those people who are lingering. Don't be so desperate to be with somebody because they got money, because they're famous, because they're this, because they give you attention, because they pay for this, and they cut them off. Prepare yourself for your dream man, because he's coming, sis. But I've been through so many terrible relationships, but I've gotten through them by praying and deciding to cut them off. That's really my only secret, y'all. Cut them off. Read a book, find a hobby, have that one friend that you love to talk to, and y'all encourage each other and lean on each other to do those things. Find a friend to do it with, okay? And you can get through it. So I'm gonna put that information for that quiz at the bottom. I'm also going to drop some links for some Instagram pages that have great inspirational quotes, because I would always make sure I follow Instagram's inspirational quotes so I can see things that encourage me to move on. Also, I'm gonna be dropping a video about how I met my boyfriend and the things that I literally did to manifest my relationship with him. Make sure that y'all like and subscribe and tell a friend. I'm gonna tell y'all about that prayer, because there really was a Sierra prayer, but it was Venus's prayer. And I'm gonna get real intimate and close with y'all and vulnerable with you. So if you're interested in hearing about that prayer, how I manifested my man, let me know. 500 subscribers, I'm gonna drop that video. Make sure you comment below, and I cannot wait to tell you all more about what I've gone through and get a little more personal with you all. I just wanted to share these videos with you because a lot of you have been following me for 10 plus years, and you've wondered what happened to me and other people that I was with and how I got past those people. All of the people that I mentioned in this video, I do wish them the best. I have no ill feelings towards any of them. Let me just put that out there. I wish them the best, seriously. This is just to give you all my point of view, my perspective. There's always 3 sides to every story. People say the truth, their side, and your side. This is my side, which I believe to be the truth because it's from me and how I felt. So again, thank y'all so much for watching, and I wish y'all an amazing day and for the rest of the week. And if you have any ideas on any other videos that y'all want me to do, girl, put it down there in the comment box, because how am I supposed to know what you want to see? I can't read your minds. And I will definitely take that into consideration and post more videos. But remember, 500 subscribers, I'm dropping that prayer video, sis. And you and your auntie and your sister and everybody and your best friend who ain't got a man yet gonna want to watch that, okay? Y'all take care and thank you for watching. Bye.
Try not to show how I feel about you. You wish you were.